Hey garden friends, happy Sunday. So today I'll be making a terracotta succulent arrangement, and it's probably 10 inches and it's just a normal terracotta pot. I just love the way terracotta and succulents, go together. And I'll be making like a mix and match kind of arranging style. It is my favorite way of arranging succulents, and I think that you'll enjoy it also because it is super easy and it's like beautiful. Like the end product is just beautiful, and I'll show you the succulents that I have. You can kind of see them, but I'll give you a closer look for sure. This is an Echeveria Lola, super popular succulent. I remember when they first hit the market, they were like, I mean, you just had to have Echeveria Lola in your succulent collection. They become a little more common, but they are just as beautiful, I think. I mean, they're that pink color, so they're like kind of pale. Their primary color is like almost like a gray, and then they start blushing pink. They kind of look like roses, don't they? And you see that rosette formation? It is just gorgeous. I love Echeveria Lolas. All right, so this one is going to be right in the center of my arrangement because it is the life of the party. It is the star of the show for sure. I have 4 Graptovaria Moonglows. And if you like to have more succulents but don't necessarily want to buy more, get yourself a Graptovaria Moonglow. They are prolific. They offset babies like it's their job. I mean, beautiful, beautiful plant to have, well-rounded. It offsets pups. They propagate by leaves super easy. They're this beautiful green-blue color. I think that my favorite succulents are green or blue, for sure. I know that the pink ones are definitely more popular, but I really like the green and blue ones. And as you can see, they're super round, very chubby leaves. Graptovaria Moonglow, and you can see why they call it Moonglow. It's kind of like glows, right? So I have 4 of them. And right here I have, this is another Graptovaria. So the same family as a Moonglow, but you can see how different they are. So this one, as you can see, it kind of fans out so beautifully, right? And this is a Graptovaria Debbie. So its primary color is like a very light green, but if you give them enough light, they will turn into this beautiful pink color. Their leaves are, so they're not as like chubby as the Moonglow. They're not as fleshy, but they're long and narrow, very delicate kind of succulent. And I just love the way they fan out. It's like a pinwheel, how their leaves form. I just love them. This is Graptovaria Debbie. And I have, let's see, a few strands of it's Senecio, or I think it's turned into Curio, Rollianus, and it is String of Pearls. And I've got a few strands. I've got like 7 or 8 strands of this beautiful succulent. Very popular as well. You can see why they call it String of Pearls. They grow long. They're a trailing or hanging type of succulent where they grow on these really thin stems, and the leaves are round and they look like pearls. It's super beautiful. Very, very popular. I love String of Pearls. But let's get started with this arrangement, and I'll start with my soil, and I will fill this pot all the way to the top. And if you're wondering about my soil, it is a very simple recipe. There's no magical, no trick to it. It's just I use organic, regular potting soil and equal parts of perlite. So I kind of measure it in handfuls. If I do 5 handfuls of the potting soil, I do 5 handfuls of the perlite. And then I mix it all together. And this is what you get, and succulents love it. Succulents need porous soil. So if you just use regular potting mix, that soil will retain too much water and they'll sit in water, and succulents don't like that. They like to be watered, don't get me wrong, but they don't like to sit in it. So the soil needs to drain quickly, if that makes any sense. So like I said, I will start with the Lola, and I will start it right in the center. Right in the center. This is so easy, and you're gonna love the way it looks. I guarantee it. Who says that? Is that Men's Warehouse? You're gonna love the way you look. I guarantee it. Yeah, I remember that. Kind of stuck, right? Okay, so there goes my Echeveria Lola, and now I'm gonna do 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's so easy. You don't have to even think about it. I love it. The less I have to think in making succulent arrangements, yeah, the better. So I'm going to start with my moon glows, and right where I put the little holes, where I make the little wells, I'm just going to settle in the moon glows. So easy. Oh my gosh, it can't get easier than this. It really, really can't. And it's so fun because you get to like pick the combinations, you know, the what's gonna match well. So I thought that the green and the pink would just go perfect since it's summer, right? So summer colors for sure. This is a summer palette, you know. So now in between the moon glows, I'm gonna make the last 4 holes or wells for my Debbies. Rumor has it that whoever made the Debbie, they named it after their daughter Debbie. Isn't that just adorable? I would love to be named after a succulent. Oh my God, that would be a dream. Okay, so now where I made my little wells, I'm gonna nestle in these beautiful Debbies, and I'm gonna make them a little deeper. They have longer stems, but I'm gonna make them even with the moon glows right next to them. So the height, if that makes sense. So I won't make the Debbies taller or the moon glows taller, but they're gonna be at the same height. So it can look nice and even. Work my way around. And you have to be very careful when handling the Debbies because they are a little more delicate than a moon glow or even a Lola. And this one's a lot bigger, so I'm going to make a deeper well here and kind of press it in there. Very carefully, of course. They break easily. Those leaves break so easily. Just like that. You see what's happening here? Oh my goodness. This is so pretty. I love it. And you know what? You can't go wrong. Whatever combination you're gonna pick out, it's gonna be perfect. I guarantee it. It's gonna be perfect. I'm really liking this guarantee word today. I'm gonna take that twig out because they kind of get in the way. So my organic soil has a lot of like, it's a premix, and it's got a bunch of other mediums in it. So it has bark in it. It's got peat moss in it. That's why I go for the organic, because it's usually a blend of other things, of other nutrients or minerals or materials that, you know, do good with plants. Okay, so you see what just happened? Was that easy or what? Heck yeah, that was easy. I didn't even have to think about it. So now with the string of pearls, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them in between. So I'm gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do I have 8? 1. This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 7. So I'm gonna get another strand here out of this pot. Okay, perfect. So I've got my 8th one ready. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my knitting needle, and this is a tool that I use. No knitting involved. I like to use a point because I can get into small little areas and push down on the roots. And then the top point also works too. So it's a cool gardening tool, a knitting needle. I got it at the Dollar Tree. They sell 2-packs for $1. Can't get better than that. So let's see. I'm gonna start on this side here. Oh man. And I'm gonna make a tiny little well here. I'm gonna kind of grab it like this. And you see, I've got the root system on these. I mean, they're super, super healthy string of pearls. So they've got, you know, a beefy root system. I don't want to really bother that root system because then, you know, it takes longer for plants to recover when you mess with the roots too much. So I'm going to kind of turn this around right over here where I want to start just so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I know that you really can't see, but all I'm doing is making a deep well with my knitting needle with the pointy part of it. I'm grabbing the roots right there, right? So you see that at least. With my finger, I'm going to press them in very gently. With my knitting needle, I'm going to really just kind of anchor them down, just like that. So there can be a little trailing effect to the arrangement. I think it's just going to make it that much more interesting when the pearls really start to grow nice and long. I mean, it's going to have like a little skirt, you know? I love that idea. I was like, oh, maybe I should just, because normally I just do this and that's it, right? I put in my stones and that's that. But this one's a little different because I'm going to add the string of pearls on the side. I have a lot of pearls right now, so I was like, yeah, why not? So I'm going to do that to each gap. So bear with me. Little hole here. I'm going to grab one of the strands here, and these roots aren't as beefy, so it'll be a little easier. And I'm going to really press them in there, and I'm going to make sure that the roots are covered with soil, that they're nice and covered in there, that they're not just on the surface. And I'm going to kind of turn this little pearl around just like, because it's kind of backwards, so just like that. Oh, perfect. I wish that you could see the side, the profile to this, but you really can't. Kind of a bummer. I need to, you know, get another camera and put it at a different angle. Hey, maybe someday I will do that. Wouldn't that be cool though? If I had 2 cameras on me and you can see the side profile and you can see the top. So you can really see what I'm doing with like my hands, you know? Because all you can really see is, you know, the top. And I do apologize. I'm not very, I just like making succulent arrangements, and this is just me being honest. So, you know, I have 1 camera, so I kind of work with what I have. Or maybe someday. I don't like to get caught up in the whole I don't know what techie side of it should I say. Does that make sense? Because I'm far more of a creative person with my hands, not really like, I don't know if you catch my drift. But if I get like too caught up or too focused on the other things other than the succulents, which is what I love, I don't know, I feel like I'm not really enjoying myself. So I have 1 camera, I have a tripod, and I'm like, cool, this works, right? But I think that you as a viewer would really enjoy it if there was a different angle. And I've seen other channels do it, you know, with different angles, and it looks so cool. Looks so cool. Because then you really see what I'm doing, right? You really capture what I'm doing. You can learn faster. Let's see. I'll just try to explain it the best way I can. So I made my little well there, and with my needle, and kind of press them in very gently. I mean, the needle, it works like a charm. I can't tell you how how good it is. I mean, get yourself a knitting needle to garden and you'll know exactly what I was talking about. And I'm almost done here. Almost done. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of join 3 little strands here because they're too short. So, all right, that's good. It is such a beautiful day. It is a perfect summer day here in San Diego. There's not much of a breeze going on, and it is pretty hot, but it's not like super, super hot. I mean, it's a good 80 degrees, and I'm by the ocean, so, you know, that's pretty hot. For us here by the coast, at least. Inland, it's even hotter probably. But it is just gorgeous. The sky is super blue, not a cloud in the sky. I just love that one. It's just super blue. I can stare at it all day if I could. Oh, this is a little chubby one right here. Oh my goodness, this is so cute. I love it. Oh man. So I'm my last one right here. Making sure that that soil is covering those roots, that those roots are not in the surface but deep down in there. And voila! Check it out. Oh my goodness. This is adorable. I'm so proud of myself. All right. So I'm going to clean up a bit here because I'll be adding some stones for sure. I'll kind of fit them in the nooks and crannies. It's kind of like my favorite part, so I try not to skip that part. All right. Oh, that is so gorgeous. It's the colors, I think, for me that really do it for me. And of course, all the texture. You see what's going on. You have the thinner leaves with the chubbier leaves, and then you have the pearls. It's just really nice. All right. So I'm going to grab some stones here. I'm going to start around here. So on the rim. And this is what completes the look, at least for me. I'm going to pick up my little pearls there and fit some stones right under them. That's a bigger stone right there. Just like that. So it won't take too many stones because the pot is full of succulents. And that's good. I like to fill it up. I like to really just squeeze them all in there. And you would think that the succulents can't grow like properly that way, but they don't mind at all. I think they like to be kind of like squeezed in there. I've never had a problem with them not growing properly. I may not be able to keep the arrangement for as long as I would want because they kind of outgrow their pot a lot faster this way, I would say. But I love to repot and make new ones anyways. It's nice because you can just pop them out when they've already grown a little too much. You can pop them out with their roots and make another arrangement in a bigger pot. You can kind of recycle them. The beauty of succulents, right? They're so resilient. So I will keep this pot in a location where it gets indirect sunlight, especially because I have the string of pearls. String of pearls they're no fan of direct sunlight. They will lose that like super green color. They'll turn kind of yellow. So you know that you're giving your string of pearls a little too much sun or light if they become yellow, if they lose that green and become yellow. And that's also a sign of overwatering your string of pearls. So it's kind of tricky. But if you do have them in direct sunlight, I recommend that you find a location where they get bright and direct sunlight, and they'll keep that green color and grow nice and healthy. Because you want those stems to grow nice and long, right? You don't want to stunt their growth. And if you give them too much sunlight, it will stunt their growth. It's just too much for them. Oh, that's beautiful. So I finished the rim part of it. And now I'm going to go for like, I know I'm like I'm kind of crazy about the stones, but this is where my needle comes in handy. Because I don't like to see the soil, I'm going to kind of lift that Lola. And I'm going to squeeze in some stones there. And this is where the needle comes in handy as well, where if the little stones get stuck in between the leaves and you don't want to touch the leaves because they have that coating of farina, which is what succulents develop on their leaves as sunscreen to protect them from the sun. It's like that white powdery coating. And actually the Debbie has a farina, and so does the Moon Glow, and so does the Lola. The string of pearls don't have the farina on them. Another reason why not to keep them in direct sunlight. If you have a succulent that has a ton of farina on them, like a Dahlia, if you know what an Echeveria Dahlia is, they are just coated with a very thick layer of farina. That means that that succulent can take a lot more sunlight. That's a little tip that I have learned from collecting succulents all these years. The more farina the succulent has on them, the more sun that they can take. But just remember, if you're going to give your succulents a lot of sun, you have to also give them a lot of water. It goes hand in hand. You can't give them a lot of sun and no water, or like water, you know, once a week or whatever your, however your weather is. You can't do that. They won't grow. They won't perform as well, is what I'm trying to say. And if you have them in shade, the less water you have to give them, unless the air is super dry or something like that. You know, it's all according to what kind of climate you're dealing with. In the summer, I water my succulents a lot more often than I water my succulents in the fall or winter. And that makes sense, right? All right, so I am coming to an end here. I'm finishing this off. And I'm going to center my Lola there. And I'm going to make sure that I didn't miss any spots. Oh my goodness. I mean, do you love it? I hope you love it. I really hope you do. And I hope that I inspire you to make a succulent arrangement, because it's not that hard. It really isn't. Especially if you start using this method. And I call it the Succy Crafts Style. The mix and match. I really enjoy it. You can see why I really like it. And I'm going to get this a little closer just so you can see. It looks like a cake. It looks like I can just take a bite. It looks delicious to me. Oh, look at that. It's just the pattern and how it's neat. You know, it's nice and clean. And I really love the string of pearl cascading effect on the side. Can't wait to watch it grow bigger and bigger and the string of pearls longer and longer. I hope that I inspired you to go out and maybe play with your plants. Or if you want to make this same arrangement, you can find all of these succulents at suckycrafts.com. That is my online succulent store. And if you go down below, if you scroll down below, you will see all the links to these beautiful plants. And try it out for yourself. You'll feel better. Plant therapy is the best therapy. I hope you enjoy your Sunday. Until next time, bye garden friends.